If you've ever broken up with a toxic person only to find yourself driving back to their house a week later hating yourself for it, you need to understand something. You aren't weak-willed and you aren't stupid. Your brain is actually experiencing a physical, biological addiction created by intermittent reinforcement, the exact same psychological trick that makes slot machines addictive. When a toxic person alternates between intense affection and sudden cruelty, it hooks your dopamine system in a way that healthy relationships simply cannot replicate. Here is the terrifying truth about how trauma bonds rewire your brain and how to break the trap. Here is something nobody tells you. Your brain cannot reliably tell the difference between anxiety and love. Both live in the same part of your nervous system. Both make your heart race. Both cause obsessive thoughts. When you are in a relationship that keeps you constantly on edge, your brain registers that survival mode as intensity, and intensity reads as connection. This is why toxic relationships feel more passionate than healthy ones. Your brain looks at your fried nervous system and says, wow, this must really matter. Walking away from that feels like loss, when in reality, it's just freedom. This addiction comes straight out of behavioral psychology. In behavioral studies, a pigeon that gets a food pellet every time it presses a lever will stop pressing the moment the food stops. But a pigeon that only gets a pellet randomly, it will press that lever obsessively, desperately, until it drops from exhaustion. In your relationship, you are that pigeon, and that toxic person is the lever. When someone is hot and cold, your brain doesn't learn to stop wanting them. It learns to chase them harder. Every kind word after cruelty lands with 10 times the normal dopamine impact. That is not a character flaw. It is your brain doing exactly what it evolved to do. So why do you keep hoping they'll change? Because you aren't holding on to who they are, you're holding on to the phantom version of who you know they can be. Underneath that hope is an old subconscious belief. If I can just be patient enough or loving enough, I can fix this. That blueprint was written in childhood. If you grew up tracking the volatile mood of an unpredictable parent, you learned that your compliance could buy you safety. You became an expert at trying. But here is the hard psychological truth. You cannot love someone into becoming a healthy person. That is their work, not yours. This is why knowing you should leave and actually leaving feel like two different universes. The moment you walk away, your body goes into a literal neurological withdrawal. Your cortisol spikes, your brain panics and starts negotiating. It pulls up every good memory, minimizes the abuse, and whispers, maybe you're just overreacting. That isn't your intuition talking. That is a starving dopamine loop trying to end the discomfort the fastest way it knows how, which is by going back to the chaos. Leaving a trauma bond takes an average of 7 attempts. It is a biological recalibration. You have to teach your system that the absence of chaos isn't emptiness, it is peace. If you're ready to start rebuilding your nervous system and breaking these patterns, click on this video next. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, keep building.